Fairy Fencer F was originally developed for the PlayStation 3 and released in 2013. A couple of years later, an enhanced port subtitled Advent Dark Force was released for the PlayStation 4 and recently found its way onto the Switch. The game was developed by Compile Heart, who are perhaps best known for the Hyperdimension Neptunia games. If you played any of the Hyperdimension Rebirth games on Vita, then you'll be in very familiar territory with Fairy Fencer. Combat is turn-based but has a positional element, so you can only attack enemies that are within range. Standard attacks eventually become combos as you upgrade your weapons. You can customize the combos, but if I'm honest, I'm not sure what difference it makes. As you perform actions in battle, you build up a meter which lets you undergo a transformation called Fair Eyes. This ups your stats and grants access to a special skill for each character. You may notice in the footage that I'm not taking any damage in these fights. That's because the Switch version of Fairy Fencer comes with all the game's DLC content, including some extremely powerful sets of armor which you are free to equip from the off. So I did. The world of Fairy Fencer essentially consists of a single town navigated by menus and a world map where you select which dungeon you want to go to. The dungeons are unlocked via a process called world shaping. Long story short, you can use world shaping to imbue dungeons with certain properties such as EXP boosts or extra magical defense for your party. Positive effects are usually balanced against some negative effects, so I can't say I use this feature much. One thing you can do with world shaping is change the enemies that appear in each dungeon. Obviously different enemies have different item drops, so if you're looking for a specific item, say for a quest, then I highly recommend just looking it up on game FAQs or you may end up wasting a lot of time. As I played the game, I found that I wasn't particularly invested in the story. The characters don't act like real people, the things they say and do are often very stupid and I wasn't finding it funny.
Struck by your stupidity.
The story does take an interesting turn somewhere around the halfway mark, and there were times when I did care about what was happening, but not enough to go back. The game does offer a New Game Plus, and there are 3 possible endings to discover for anyone who is interested in a repeat playthrough. Looking at the chart, I'm going to place Fairy Fencer pretty low. It's not great, but there's nothing particularly offensive about it either, depending on your reaction to Compile Heart's usual guff.
Flat-chested? Are you serious?
Considering I actually finished this one, and you don't have to waggle the analog stick around at the start of every fight, I'd say we're looking at our new number 5. I'm not exactly sure about this chart now. Phantasy Star seems to be sitting quite high for a game that was released in 1987, but I've only just got started really. I think pretty much just the games towards the top are more worth checking out than the games towards the bottom. It's pretty much the gist of it. The absolute position doesn't really matter. Anyway, that's another one off my backlog for now, so I'm down to 8 concurrent RPGs instead of 9, although having said that, I have noticed that World of Final Fantasy and Romancing Saga 2 are currently on sale on the eShop, so I could be bumping myself up back to 10. You know, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, that's the way I clear my backlog. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hey you guys, doesn't it feel like a boss fight is going to happen soon? Man, it's freezing. I might actually catch a cold in here, achoo. We need to put those wool undies on again. I made sure to wear mine thanks to Baha's tailoring skills. They're even long enough to cover my tummy. It was no trouble. I usually have to remind you to wear underwear anyway. I'm so jealous. I wish Bahas was my fairy partner so I had someone taking care of me. Excuse me, do you know how hard I work keeping you safe? You guys aren't nervous at all. Indeed, you mustn't forget that we're in enemy territory right now. That's right, this is enemy territory and soon it will become your gravesite. She's one of Dorfa's 4 heavenly czars. She was expecting us. Geez, you're persistent. I know you guys have a crush on me, but it's starting to feel a little obsessive. You bastard, Lady Mariana would never be attracted to a hideous cretin like you. We took our precious time spreading rumours about a monster just to lure you all into a trap, and it totally worked. Ah, that means Lola was duped by your false information. What an idiot. Remind me to get my money back from her. Lady Mariana, don't waste your time talking to these putes. Let's hurry up and kill them already. Precisely. There's no need to ask pointless questions. The punishment for defying Dorfa is death. Looks like I gotta do this. There is no other way. How long did that go on for?